Mia, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for inviting me first and letting me share my experience and all of that with you.
How is the weather in Croatia now with this snow ramp on
Oof,
Europe?
it kind of depends. It's really windy outside right now. I live in the coastline, so it's let's say warm. It's not exactly warm, like 15 degrees, but it's windy, and we are expecting not exactly the best weather in the next couple of days. So
Yeah,
it's
because this
yeah,
this
winter's time.
snow around all the south of Germany, Hungary, and everything.
Yeah, everything is going to come down, but I don't think we'll have much snow. It's more like going to be
Okay,
very, very chilly wind, which is not usually very pleasant. So you don't want to go outside.
it's good for sim racing, no? This
Well,
weather.
winter time is usually an extra excuse to do the things that you normally do. So you don't have to make it up. So yeah, definitely.
For today, I want to talk a little bit about your YouTube channel. You have already gathered a big numbers, around 34,000 followers. How you see your YouTube evolution during these periods?
Huh. You mean from the beginning,
Yeah,
or
let's start from the beginning.
from the beginning? That's going to be well. That's even pre-COVID, I believe. I think it was 2018, 2019. I think when it all started.
Mhm.
I just wanted to upload a couple of videos to YouTube because I thought my races were interesting. And that's exactly how it happened. I had no intentions of growing such a huge audience. I think my main goal was to get 1,000 subs. And I was quite happy with 1,000 subs. When I reached that point, I think it was like 6 months later when I started, I thought about myself, wow, that's 1,000 subs. I mean, someone is watching you. And all of a sudden, I was trying to make more track guides and all of that. And COVID struck. And all of a sudden, you got all of these guys in their rooms. They want to play on their sim rigs. And I was just in the middle of that. And, you know, my channel's pretty much at that time, 2019, 20, 21, it really blew up. I mean, I think I got from like zero, maybe 1,000 subs at the beginning to just about 10. I think it was 10,000 subs. So 10,000, when 10,000 people watch you at that time, I mean, now I think about it, that's a lot of people. So
Yeah.
it's it's noticeable. It's not, like a couple of people are watching, and all of a sudden, the numbers started going up. Uh, I really started achieving, like, say, 1,000 subs per month. Now it's like 1,500, I believe. So we'll see what the future holds. But it was just uploading a couple of videos, and let's see what can happen out of it. And all of a sudden, you have an audience about 35,000 people. So not not, not not something that I completely expected. I didn't think it was ever going to happen. But yeah, now it's here, I guess.
But it's a big difference, no? You think that you started YouTube before the COVID situation give you that big boost? You think if you started now, you would have the same craft? You'll be able to get the same people?
Well, think I think I was getting more time to learn new things. So basically, when I started, I didn't really know anything about YouTube, how YouTube works, how to make, like, for example, good thumbnails, something that people are gonna click on, and engaging content in general.
Mhm.
It was more like just videos of me playing video games. That's it. And you have to bring a story. You have this kind of learning curve that always comes with it. And I think COVID gave me that period where I just had to adjust, and I had to adapt to that situation and learn new things. So I had more time to learn. But
Okay.
I would say that if you're starting a YouTube channel now, I think it's best for you to start slow, learn new things. For example, you have to learn how to edit videos, how to make thumbnails, graphics. So I would definitely say, yeah, it takes a bit of time, but once you learn all of these things and once you master it, I don't think it's impossible. It definitely isn't. So anyone,
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. It's probably one of the main difficulties that I had is crushing the audience from the podcast in audio to the podcast in video. So in
yeah,
audio, we can on the old cake of 100, the audio normally can stay on 95 to 90% of the audience, and
yeah,
videos sometimes can reach that 10%. Sometimes can even go higher depending on the guests, because the guests have a lot of important and the way that people project the podcast on other ways,
mhm,
because social media is that if you share, you just go for one. one side, but if it's more person sharing, more expanding, and more easy to click, get it. So
Definitely.
I think you're right. I think the problem of I think the quality of sound make a big difference, and the quality
Yeah,
of the
definitely.
graphics. But this I think this generation is a lot of scrolling, go up, go down, go up, go up, go
Yeah,
up.
it's hard to
So
keep retention rate at this
yeah, the
point. Yeah.
YouTube retention, if you do a podcast, is really, really bad. Sometimes I have like a good retention in the first 5 minutes and suddenly go to 10, 20%. And after on minutes 35, for example,
I
go to
know.
50.
Yeah.
Like, but
I,
because it's such a big period,
yeah, I know.
it's really, really bad.
I guess that's why like short videos are very popular right now. For example, short reels on Instagram, not just short and reels, but you got you got these other things. For example, the video, if the video lasts more than like 6 to 7 minutes, your retention rate is going to go down. So
Yeah.
it's easier to have a video that lasts 7 minutes to have 3 minutes and 30 than to have a video that's just about 20 minutes long and you have 10 minutes of retention rate. So no one is going to watch the video for that long. I mean, rarely people will watch it, and you want to make them a good reason to watch you. So you need to make something special. You need to always be unique in that way. Otherwise, just as you said, it plummets down.
Yeah. So if you're talking about unique, what make you so unique on your, for example, on your shorts or
Shorts.
reels?
Well, reels. I just wanted to make something. It's not exactly unique. You got a lot of people posting shorts out there, but I just wanted to cut the best possible moment of my race or something that happened. I didn't want to stretch it out to, let's say, 30 seconds to have, like, say, more viewing time. I just wanted to make as simple as possible and exactly the point where it happened. Like,
Okay.
I'm getting into a battle. Something amazing will happen eventually. I already, when I'm cutting the video, I know that, but I want to cut it to a point where it starts getting interesting, and when it ends, it just stops getting interesting. So
Okay.
basically, the most interesting part stays. The other one, I cut it. I mean, there is no point of keeping it. Otherwise, you will not get recommended, and people will just, as you said, scroll down because it's
Yeah.
why do I want to watch it now? That's
Yeah,
the
it's
main
just a
question.
little bit. I tend to put like shorts of the interviews, and a lot of the time people just scroll it because the interview is just you speaking, And when we come to
Yeah,
sim racing, it's already a very small niche when we think on a part of games, and after when
yeah.
you go about interviews in sim racing, you are even cutting the cake really, really small, and after you tend to have just a small amount of people that are interesting, and you have
Yeah.
such a great podcast around like Gridfinder and Simpit. Then yesterday
Mhm.
another episode, and you see the numbers are quite sad because they put such a good interview. They have good guests, and sometimes the
Uh,
people tend to not click.
it's a small niche. You need to approach that niche in a different way because, like, let's say when you upload something on Spotify or any kind of social media, you need to have those specific people to watch. You need to either to build an audience. For example, YouTube does a very good job on that. So it just brings those people that already subscribe to your channel, people that already watch you. You're getting recommendations, or you're the person who's getting recommendations from the channel that you just watched. So if you have like this wide variety of content, you you definitely need to know what you're clicking on. So YouTube just does an amazing job in that. So it recommends your content constantly if you already watched it. So with
Mhm.
Spotify, I think it's a little bit different with all of the other social media, but I guess when you get into that niche, it just slowly starts rolling in. But
Yeah, Spotify is. I tell you this one because this is the way that been open. So the name of the podcast is Gear Z, and Gear
mhm,
Z and Spotify don't have. Is if when you put Gear or you put Gear Z, appear my podcast as number one because it not exist many things calling Gearheads. When
yeah,
it come to YouTube, if you put Kia Z, the first thing that appear, you would think that will be something related with cars, but no, it's kitchen. It's a
kitchen.
kitchen network, American network program
Wow.
of kitchen. They have something called Gearheads, where they're talking about gadgets from kitchen, and they have sometimes 500,000 views. So automatically, when you search for
Yeah.
Gearheads, so I have to create a way of swap it that for people click it, because otherwise, if you search it, some people already told me, oh, when I search, I don't see your podcast because they put GearHeads and after appears just kitchen,
Yeah,
and you scroll in.
you're
So
just not getting recommended because kitchens
exactly,
are getting recommended, not
exactly,
you.
exactly. So it's a little bit funny, but you talk about something that I want to tackle is on Instagram, for example, you have a lot of videos of people playing through, and they have a higher number of views. You think
Mhm.
that views is similar to quality on your content, or you think views and quality are not on the same level?
If you're saying they're correlated, I would say yes. They definitely are, because it really depends what kind of quality are you looking for. You know,
Mhm.
what is the person that is watching these videos looking for? So if you're watching for a video that, just, you're gonna relax, you don't really need to think too much, and you're just
Okay.
gonna be scrolling. The platform is just gonna keep you that for a little bit longer than usual. It's gonna keep on recommending the stuff that gets your interest. So something that might be quality for you might not be quality for me. And I think quality is very specific for every individual. So for me,
Yeah.
it would be something completely different. And that's why you got these profiles in social media. They're not exactly shown, but you got these background processes that just understands how you work, and they're just gonna keep on recommending the stuff that you like, and that's quality for you. And in the end, if you really talk about, you know, are you going to make a quality video? Are you going to spend really that much time making it? You can make as little as 5 minutes if the content is good. Or you can spend 3 days filming and you're going to have the footage that maybe 5,000 people are going to watch. And then the other guy that just cut a clip in 15 minutes is going to have 500,000 views. So it really depends on how you look at it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And now, taking away YouTube and social media and everything, let's go back to sim racing.
Okay.
What's gonna happen with Digit Gaming on 2024?
Oof, that's a hard question because I don't really know yet. But yeah, my plans are always. I'm not going to say that they're always the same. I will try to change a little bit of everything in the 2024. But I would really like to keep on definitely streaming, keep on making videos, racing videos, reviews. I would like to expand in something else. We'll see how that's going to work out. I don't have exactly the plan
Okay.
yet, but definitely I'll try to stream more, and I'll just try to provide more informative content, not only racing videos, but also like a driving school. Uh, my idea is to more go into setups and understanding how cars work in general and in sim racing. So that's something that I would really like to I would really like to do in the future. But all of this takes time, and if you're doing all of those things and just take a little portion of your time, all of a sudden you
Hmm.
have absolutely no time on your hands, and you got to prioritize things. And for now, priority is to keep on making racing videos and live streaming. So that's exactly what's keep me going. And the other things just gonna fall into that little tiny space uh, when the opportunity occurs, and that's just when I'm gonna slot in something new. So we'll see, we'll see.
Because you expand a little bit your coaching area. You have is you and you have Luke Elliott with you on the team,
Yes.
and how that's working. How is the coaching working for you guys?
Well, the coaching has been going on for a couple of years for me, and I just started to realize that I had so many requests about coaching that I just couldn't handle it on my own, and
Okay.
that's why me and Elliot decided, yeah, why not? Let's make you a coach. Let's see how that's going to work out. You're A+ rated driver, not exactly fighting in the top splits. I mean, you can rarely find the top split drivers who is willing to do coaching, and it's difficult to even find these people because there are only like maybe 20 in the world that can do something like that because of the language barriers and all of that. So it was kind of a perfect mix, I would say, for the people that are not exactly A+ rated, for people that are
Okay.
just learning the game and just need, I'm not going to say basic info because you need to go into advanced advanced driving style to actually understand how the car works and what you can expect from the car to behave like. So Luke just filled in the spot, and I think he's doing a good job from the reviews that I seen on Discord, other social media. It was like, at this point it's 100% positive. I'm not going to say that we don't have any negative comments. Of course we do,
It's gonna always
but
happen, you know.
yeah, but when you got the whole page, like it was literally whole post, I had to scroll down on Discord to read all of that, and he was saying like, yeah, look, you did an amazing job, thank you very much, you just won my First Nations Cup race. And I was like, yeah, maybe it's actually that's actually good, that's actually the good job well done. So I can say that for now it's really working well, and we'll see, maybe we're going to expand in the future with a couple of new coaches. Maybe that's the plan for 2024.
Okay, it's good. And in terms of your website, you're gonna keep evolving the website to something bigger, or you like it the way it is?
Well, as they say, mostly in
Don't
US,
change
bigger
the
is
formula if it works.
don't change the formula if it works, but bigger is always better. So I would definitely like to expand a little bit more. Uh, the website was primarily focused on keeping all of the things that I do on YouTube, but just
Okay.
making it in a textual format. So you
Yeah.
got a little bit more pictures. It's not a video. It's more text, more into details, and the scripts that I usually write are quite long. And I always, when you cut a video, you always cut some not very engaging pieces of content, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what I wanted to do with the website. Not cut it, like it's
Okay.
gonna be there. If you want to read it, you can read it. If you don't want to read it, of course, skip it. But with the videos and how videos work, I had to cut it down, just to make it more interesting and just make it in, let's say, 10 15 minutes of whatever it is. But with the website, I can just put it in a review, add a couple more photos, and all of a sudden you got the full textual file that you can scroll through and really make the decision if you're going to buy something or not. But yeah, once again, I would really like to expand in a couple of other areas. We'll see how that's going to work out. But like with the products on the website are structured. For example, what is my setup? I get this question so many times. What is my setup? And all of a sudden I said, yeah, you can go to my website. That's my
Yeah.
setup. You
It's.
can read
I'm
all about
just.
it.
I'm just scrolling now on the website while
Yeah.
we are talking about, and yeah, you have upload in September 11, May 11, crazy on the same
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
different months. Yeah, you have your streaming setup, your monitors, everything. Really, really.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, I got everything, because I got a lot of questions, for example, in the streams. What do you do? What do you use? How you connect all of these things? And I realized that if someone has a question, I will try to answer it. So my idea for 2024, specifically on the website, is just to make it a little bit better looking. It's kind of okay now, but I would just like to make a couple of different styles, a couple of different views on how my setup is structured. What am I using? What is that specific reason why I'm doing this and what I'm doing that? For example, even shooting audio is very interesting in sim racing, because I don't think a lot of people realize how important audio is in
Yeah.
videos. So you just have to make it good. Otherwise, it's no good.
In terms of audio, how you been managing? For example, for me, I work with the audio for many years. I used to work as a DJ, so I used to make music for other ones. Never made music for myself, but made music for other ones. I still have a couple of music online on Spotify that surprisingly still make some income. I don't know why, because just some sets released, some of
Ah,
them 6 years ago. I was quite surprised when we came the Rapid, the Rapid 2023. I received an email from artist Spotify, and I say,
nice.
why I receive an email from Spotify artists? I don't have
Hmm.
nothing to do with the artist Spotify. And after I click it, and apparently some people still clicking. And but I have problems with my voice.
Yeah.
I can, if I need to do your voice on podcast, it's easy for me. But if
Hmm.
I need to do mine, it's really difficult because I
Mm,
tend, you tend to put a voice similar to what you hear, your own voice.
yes.
And after, because of that, you try to take, okay, my voice sounds a little bit more deep. So I tend to put the
Hmm.
deepness. But after, you know, more you put deepness, more muddy and more muffy the voice are gonna do, and not so clear, not so sharp. So yeah, I have that problem when I'm doing the podcast.
I
Is
think
the
we all do.
guests always, if the guests come with a good microphone, because a lot of times, sometimes of the guests, I have a guest that I think he recording with a microphone from the 80s. I'm sorry, but it was like whoa, 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 whoa. The
Yeah,
static, I have to
it's not going
clear
to
all
work.
the static, I have to clear all the spectrums, I have to put in programs to clear all the levels to reduce the minimal to where was his voice. But yeah, it was really difficult.
You cannot really cut it. You cannot compensate for such a huge loss in quality. That's more work than you would ever want to do.
Yeah,
So whatever you
you can to some areas. So you can, because everyone have a different types of volume, no? So mine is, yours is more deep than mine, so you gonna go in levels or that mine voice don't reach in in some parts. But yeah, you arrive to a certain area that you cut it, and after gonna sound very, that the person don't have a personality, you know, like
yeah,
everything is on the same level. No,
everything is the same. We don't want to
yeah,
change
you
anything.
know,
Everything is perfect. Yeah.
I'm Portuguese, so I speak a little bit more from the nose. You know, the sound come more from more noisy. So you know, when we speak, we go like wow, woo, wow. Our sound go, our
Oh,
spectrum of
up and down. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So every time I interview now on the last podcast, a Portuguese guy, and was the same thing. You are in interview, and when he starts speaking or when you want to say something that is important, we always raise our voice. So
Mhm.
even if you want to normalize the podcast, you go with sometimes like very high, sometimes very down. So the
Yeah,
sound
yeah,
is very difficult to do on this part. But let's go back to sim racing, because we keep speaking about audio and video.
yeah. Oh
Oh,
no, that's
so
good. We are
yeah,
YouTubers, so why not?
I don't think I'm a YouTuber.
Ah,
I put videos,
podcasters.
I put videos, but no, not great. I think put the video yesterday. Thumbnail, I think thumbnail is nice, but
Mhm.
I would say we had like 100 views on the first 12 hours or
No,
17 hours. So
I
it
guess it's
is
not
what
the
it
same
is.
niche. So that's the thing when I try to do something new. So my audience is used to making me racing videos and stuff that I usually do, and when
Yeah.
I try to do something else, something new, I don't really get that many views because that's not my
I-
audience.
yeah, but I don't think I have audience in podcast. And because it's the same thing with Grid Finder. If you go Grid Finder, they do such an amazing job. And they
Mhm.
had Swelly on the last podcast. I had Swelly on my podcast, but I didn't put video on the time.
Mhm.
I was not feeling confident to put video, so I was always doing audio. And they put video, and they go with 100 and something views over 2 weeks. So and they keep doing the podcast for a long time. So I don't know. They do such an amazing job. I don't know how
Hmm.
what's no breaking on their part. Because I have episodes the same thing. I have episodes that go really bad, or episodes that go really good in the first two
Yeah,
days and after drop, and after you have one view a week.
yeah, that
So
happens a lot, even to me. Like for videos, mostly. Like you get a video that gets like 5,000 views in 2 days, and all of a sudden, like stays the same, nothing.
yeah, it's weird.
Algorithms.
It's too much content. Now you don't think when sim racing you started to getting too much content?
Yes, I will. I will say yes because you can just scroll through social media and you will find content of pretty much anything each day. And some of these videos that I'm watching are not exactly something that I would watch, but personally, people do. People do watch them. So I guess if there is a need, why not put content out? Uh, but I think the quality in the recent years has dropped. I'm not going to say about the quality because we talked about the quality and what quality means to each individual, but you're just trying to make more and more videos without actually focusing on the quality of that video and spending some time with that video. So maybe that's the reason why, like, we have so many content creators. You can become a content creator just by uploading a video. That's it.
Yeah,
how easy it is. And then the other step, which is difficult, is to actually get people to watch you, and of course to build an audience like it is. So you're bombarded with content each day. You just have to make a decision which one to get and which one to watch. So if someone does a better job than you, you start thinking about what he did. How can we get to that same level? So I think overall, for the quality in general, in the long run, this is good because you got competition. But now I believe that people are just putting videos out just like that. Doesn't really matter
Yeah,
what it is.
I agree with you. I think I don't pick on mine because I think my quality is not even what I receive on views is what I need, what I deserve for the quality that I put. I think my videos are not even in podcasts. I think I try to put too much B-roll and everything. I take hours and hours
Mhm.
editing, but I don't think that podcast in terms of sim racing sometimes needs, because it's already so niche, as you say, that
Yeah.
the people you don't gonna get more than what you already have. Unfortunately, is that.
Yeah.
But in terms of content creation, for example, I just put,
Mhm.
I put now a new video and everything, but it's so much good content that unfortunately is not showing us because don't follow the lines of what society like it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the content
Yes.
is really good. It's such
Yes.
good content that I've been seeing lately, but because don't follow the lines. And you know that when it comes to sim racing, you have
Mhm.
some lines that if you follow, you're gonna get views. If you make a video
Exactly.
about Forza Horizon, sometimes you don't need to edit. I don't say anything bad to people that play Forza Horizon, but you don't need to make a big editing, and that gonna
Yeah.
do gonna
I
work.
that's also the popularity of a specific title.
Mhm.
Someone that puts a video about Race Room right now isn't going to get
Oh
that
yeah,
many views.
I know, I know.
Um,
I made one.
uh,
I made one, unfortunately, and
yeah,
yeah.
you can spend the same amount of time, and you can spend the same effort about, let's say, Gran Turismo of what I do, or just Forza Horizon. At this point, you're going to get so many views because people are playing the game. People are actually searching for this specific title, and you just have to follow the niche, and that's
And you think that
uh,
come with affordable, because playing Gran Turismo and playing Forza Horizon and other games that go a little bit from the sim arcade, as we instead of going
yeah,
the sim hardware.
SimCady Spectrum. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
I think it's the affordable part, because it's easier for us to jump
Yes,
and
it's
cheaper.
definitely easier, cheaper, and more accessible because you don't have to spend too much money or time to just get involved with all of this. You just need to have a PlayStation and buy the
Yeah,
game. That's it. You need to have a controller, which you get with the PlayStation, and you play the game. And that's your entry level. But with sim racing, in general, like we talk about ACC, AC, we talked about R Factor. Um, these are sims that really require a really good performing wheel. Of course, you can buy a Trustmaster T300 and play with it. Are you
yeah,
really going to be competitive now? I would say if you know how to drive, you can be reasonably well, but
yeah.
you will never be competitive. So you need to spend an additional amount of research, an additional amount of money, more effort into setups, into understanding how the game works, into all of these other things that apart from actual racing. And then you have to do the racing part. So you got all of these things like setups, building this thing, having the right amount of force so the wheelbase isn't clipping. You have to understand these concepts at first. So it definitely requires a lot of time, and not to even mention the actual in-game setup of the car. So that
Yeah.
can take ages. That can definitely take ages. But in Gran Turismo, you said Forza, you just jump in. You don't even have to think about it. You had now we had kind of an introduction of setups. So it was, let's say you have to know something, but you can just go to Discord and there you go, setups for each individual car made by the best guys in the world. And it's free. You just scroll down and just free to use. So I think that's the beauty of Gran Turismo. Like it's the whole community that just makes the thing going, and people are generally really nice, and that's what I think it keeps on going. People that play these games are like, "Oh yeah, man, you're doing a good job." It's very supportive in each way. So think that's the barrier overall.
Okay.
Like the accessibility of how you can get into something like this. It's completely different.
Now that you're talking about Gran Turismo, we're gonna start talking about it. How you think that how is going Gran Turismo for 2024? You think they should continue updating the game? They should start working on a new one. What is your thoughts about that?
Well, I think they're already working on a new one because it
Yeah.
takes time to build a game like this. I think they spent, well, I don't know how many years in development GT7 was, but I think it was at least a couple of years. It was maybe even 3 to 4 years, maybe even more. I think it was even more than that. So the Gran Turismo is a complete game now. It wasn't like that at the beginning. And 2024, I think, is just going to bring in more updates and more improvements overall. But the
Okay.
overall build quality, the structure that they were based on, was simply amazing for the time. So you have this kind of quality of photos, this kind of realism. I'm talking about graphics at this point. We're not talking about driving here.
No,
It's a
no,
little bit different.
graphics.
Like graphics, the overall engines that they used in the game, this is unseen in sim racing, because if you go
Yeah.
to any other sim title, it's just not going to have the same quality. It's not even close. Like
No,
the whole
no.
attention to detail and the structure they built, it's going to keep them going in 2024, 2025, 2026, I believe, and even to 2027. Because now when you look at these photos, I was looking at this forum, and this guy, he got a Lexus, I think it was Lexus LFA. Not exactly sure which.
I
I think it was LFA.
I know what you're gonna
Yeah,
talk about.
and
The real
he was like,
pictures in LA and the
yeah,
pictures on the
it's exactly, it's a real picture, and he just nailed the whole scene and all of that. And I was like looking at his photos, and there was no difference.
yeah.
I couldn't tell the difference. It's not like you cannot tell the difference when you just get into the game and you kind of spot some things. No, you didn't spot anything. Like it was
Yeah,
nothing that would say, yeah.
I show that to Christina, I show the pictures to my wife, and before I tell her it was a game, she cannot see it. Only
Yeah.
when I explained to her, look, this is a game, was when she starts seeing a little bit more the flaws or some reflection or something that was missing
Yeah.
there. That's normal. That's part of our or part of the game. But if you give to a person that are not involved in any
Mhm.
of Gran Turismo and don't know nothing about Gran Turismo, and you put the picture and ask them what's the difference, they will not know the difference. The
No,
realism
no way. No, no.
on Gran Turismo 7, the details that they do are crazy. When
Yeah.
I put VR, I used to have a Mazda RX 8, the R3 version, so the wide body version. And when I put on VR to just to check the inside, completely was like all the detail was like I was inside of the car. You know,
Mhm.
the from the lights, the interiors. You see where was the wheels, where was how I want to say, I forgot the word now. You know, nicked. You know, when they
Stitching, I guess. Or?
stitching. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So you could see all that details, and no
Mhm.
game from zero give you that. You know, Assetto Corsa can give
Yeah.
you amazing graphics, but Assetto Corsa has been already modding, not from the original game.
Uh,
You know,
yeah. I
iRacing
guess you
give you
can mod anything, but yeah.
iRacing give you good graphics, but you need to have the best cards. You need to have the best setting, and that was made it for a PS4 and for a PS5. You have to remember, it was PS4 too, and the graphics on PS4 was amazing.
Yeah, it was, but it's not like the performance of a PS4 and PS5 are not even close. And you can have the graphics on PlayStation 4 that, let's say you spent, I don't know how much PlayStation 4 is, like 200 euros, 300
200,
euros.
yeah, 200. Probably
Yeah,
can
that
get in even cheaper in second hand.
cheaper at secondhand, and you're getting these graphics of more or less the same quality as you would in other racing games, like even AC. You would have to spend thousands of euros.
Yeah.
So that's the difference in quality, and that's, I think, the entry level that people are always talking about. It's easier. It's just easier. It looks good.
And
If it looks
between
good,
yeah, totally. And between Forza, have you jumped a little bit on Forza Motorsport, or you just wanna stick to Gran Turismo?
I tried it. I gave it a go. I really wanted to. I really wanted to like it and see what the buzz is all about, but I couldn't. It was just like from the game mechanics, from pretty much anything that we go through. It was to me, it was just not a pleasant experience. I
Okay.
was driving it, all of a sudden the wheels start shaking for some unknown reason. I know the tires are slipping out. I understand that, but it's like so much movement, and I was like, this is not supposed to be like this. And when you're turning, like how the game mechanics feels in general, you just don't feel that flow like you do with the other racing games. It's just so,
Okay.
I would say, inconsistent in some areas, and also the graphics were more like a 2016
Yeah, the graphics are
graphics.
a little bit disappointed. I didn't get the game. I don't know why. When I was speaking with everyone in the community, I say something. I don't know, the releases of the graphics or the videos, they look too perfect.
Yeah, it was good.
I prefer wait and see what will come. And yeah, after when I saw the graphics, I had a little bit okay. I don't know if
It's
people are playing with the. I don't say that they are bad, because for example, when they're raining and everything, the graphics was looking beautiful.
Mhm.
But if you're comparing on Xbox, from Xbox to a PlayStation 5 on both titles, you don't
Yeah.
have on Xbox that level of graphism that you have on Gran Turismo.
No, I don't. I don't think it's really close. I tried it on PC. I'm not going to judge the Xbox version because I didn't do it. I tried a PC. I have pretty solid graphics card. It's a 3060. I think
Okay.
that's solid to play racing games.
Yeah.
Of course, you can get 4090, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah, you can
So
get a 49 and like me, and after don't play.
you can do that as well.
Because I'm always so tired that I'm not playing, and I think a 4090 on that time for Simracing is probably too much, but was one of the options, and I say okay, why not?
Why not when you can?
Yeah, but if you ask me, I think it's not a big difference. The racing games, they don't give more on the moment.
No, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Just it's not going to give you that much performance boost. And what I realized in, let's say, Forza was like it was kind of smudged. It was like blurred up looking shots, and I was like, this is maybe not supposed to look like this. When you look at the sharp image, it's quite sharp. It has all of the details in, but this was all like blurred up. And I mean, I wasn't a Forza guy. Maybe that's the reason I wasn't a Forza guy like ever. And this is my first Forza that I ever tried, and I was like, this is not supposed to work like this. I don't know why they keep on discussing this, because of course, if you like the game, play the game. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't play the game. It's
No,
not.
they have a good fan base, but I think even the fan base was a little bit skeptic in some parts. I think the game, and that's what we're talking before the podcast, is you release a game, at least release the game. We need to stop on the gaming industry, not on sim racing, it's on the gaming industry, accepting that the game don't come completely finish in 2 or 3 weeks. They're gonna send some updates. No, you pay something. You want the game to be on the maximum
Yeah,
that should be. It's like we don't gonna buy a
agree.
car and after driving without all the features or without a door, because okay, in 2 weeks will come a door, and no,
Oh, yeah,
it's
it
not
doesn't make much
acceptable.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
deadlines.
talking about that, I saw that you tried the WRC
Yeah.
EASport WRC. How was your point of view on the game?
Well, it's actually I had no expectations, to be honest, and I
Okay.
just wanted to play the game because it was looking fun, it was looking okay. I played it for a couple of days, didn't really have the time to, but it was actually a fun racing experience. Although the graphics are not to a point like, say, Gran Turismo,
Yeah.
they do work. It's perfectly fine. You get all of the details that you need to get. The car was feeling a little bit off, but it was nothing major. You can still enjoy the actual experience. You can understand how the mechanics in the game work. Like, for example, when the back of the car was losing, uh, when I was losing the back of the car, I realized, okay, maybe this is because I went to the brakes, I went to the turn, it was a dip. You can feel all of these surface changes. That's exactly what you need to feel in a racing game. So it was, I think in the end, it was quite a pleasant experience. I would definitely recommend to anyone that wants to play racing games. But as you said before, the overall structure and the overall build of the game wasn't exactly the best. I couldn't understand the menus. The menus were a little bit confusing. I know you got all of these mods that you can play, but the online experience, it's I didn't know what to do. I just got into the lobby and all of a sudden something was playing. I wasn't playing. I had a different car. I didn't know why I had a different car. And then later I realized that these things, need to adjust them. You need to get something else. You need to kind of move through the menus, find the best car that works for you. I understand all of that part. But for someone that doesn't have any kind of experience, someone that's just getting into the game, this is going to be confusing because he just wants to play a video game for like 30 minutes or an hour a day and just like, I don't really care. I just want to play. So I think that Gran Turismo really does a good job with that. So you got 3 dailies. I know we can have more. You got 3 dailies. They all have a specified requirements for each and individual one. And
Hmm.
you can just go to the leaderboards. You can see, oh, okay, this is the fastest car. You can rent out the car and you can play with that car. So the structure and the overall build is very user friendly. And I think another sim titles can definitely learn out of that. I think Assetto Corsa is kind of really good on that point. I think the servers can be quite confusing if you're first time doing it, but later it's all good. So I think all EA Sport made titles are kind of confusing at the menus. I don't know if I'm the only one, but just when you're scrolling through that, it just takes a lot of time to learn and realize what is going on. And it's not very visually appealing. It's always the same structure. It's always kind of okay, but not exactly the best. And I think if we just follow the pattern from GT, when you have this kind of wide world and you just got these little titles, it's easy to see and easy to realize where you're at a specific point. But when you got
Yeah.
like the sidebars, you got titles. Your brain isn't exactly going to connect it to something like legendary car dealership in Gran Turismo. I always know it's going to be legendary car dealership because it's always there at the same spot. It
Yeah.
has this unique, very, very unique looking design. If you're going to go to normal brand central to buy a normal car, it's always have this specific little icon, and I am always going to know it's there. Or if I'm going to, let's say, race in, let's say, I will try to race AI. I always have this specific icon or the specific graphics that are going to tell me you're racing against this very advanced AI, Sophie. It's called. So it's, I think, the way your brain connects something like that, it's much easier with
Okay.
Gran Turismo than any other sim title. So it's, I would say, very user friendly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree on the sorry, on the part that you say that Gran Turismo is easy to access comparing with
Yeah,
other titles, and I think is sometimes what put people on sim racing a little bit away is the difficulty for you just jump
yeah,
on the car and do something. If you go on R Factor to sometimes get confused, you take probably just one day to set up everything the way that you like it because something not going to work. The same thing when iRacing, sometimes it takes a long time for you organize everything. And when you come to Gran Turismo 7, you just you plug in your wheel.
yeah,
Automatically, the wheel gonna recalibrate it. You can adjust the way that you need it, but automatic from standard, they are already acceptable for a majority. So
yeah,
you just jump, you just do. If you do what you do on single player, will not affect your online player. Of course, if you have the car, you can use your own car,
yeah,
but don't gonna
definitely.
affect nothing because the car gonna be from scratch. The BOP is the BOP. So yeah, I agree with you on terms of that. And now to finish a little bit the podcast, that's asking about hardware for 2024. What you are expecting?
Oof.
What is the things that you want to have on your setup? Guide us a little bit about that.
Setups. Okay, that's the difficult part, I guess. You got so many brands right now. I mean, this is actually a good part of the whole podcast and all of the sim racing in general, like this, because when you want to buy something, you have more, I would say, uh, maybe 5 times more equipment that you can buy than we had like 2 years ago.
Oh,
So
it's
now you got
crazy. It's crazy.
It's getting crazy. It's really getting crazy. Any kind of branding out there, they're just going to have a product on their own in the next 6 months, and they're just going to put it on the market. And all of a sudden, you get so many of these wheelbases products, wheels, and you just don't know what to buy because there is so many of them, which is good. Which is good. You got more variety. I mean, you can decide what to buy, what's better for you. So I think in the next year, I got the Fanatec DD Plus, so that's going to be my upgrade, I believe, for the next year. I don't know if the rumors are correct, but they will most likely bring out a new product, like a new Gran Turismo version of the wheel. I would also like to check that out. So I'm not sure about the rumors on that. I just read it on.
No,
I
but
think it was on Reddit.
I think so. Fanatec is take it. They stay a little bit on these last 2 years quite quiet. I think organizing or structure
definitely.
whatever they have to structure that we don't know 100%. Well, whatever people say, you never know if it's correct or not. But I think from what we saw in the Sim Expo, they was waiting to deliver and bring something, and they are updating all the. They have now the deal with the sparkle wheels that all them looks beautiful, and you have a variety. You have the new buttons model, so it's a lot of things coming. Finally, the KR, the quick release have been released.
Oh yes. Oh yes, finally. I mean, it was a long wait. I believe that the supply chain it was a complete disaster in COVID years. Nothing was coming from China to Europe, from any parts of the world. Doesn't matter which one it is. So they had to delay some of these things because they have. The Fanatec is, I would say, arguably the biggest manufacturer. I'm not gonna go. Probably Logitech is selling more wheels, but that's a Logitech G29. But they definitely have a huge fan base, and if you go to their website, you will see that not in stock, available for pre-orders in January 2027, something like that. It was very, very far off. So I think they just stabilized and they realized, okay, now it's time to introduce the new products. Now we have the actual capability of putting something like that on the market instead of people that are waiting for the product for 6 months. That doesn't make much sense. And if we talk about general stuff, Moza was doing a really good job, I do have to say. So they came from nothing. Like I think it was 2 years ago. Literally, it was nothing, zero. And all of a sudden, you got this wide spectrum. You got this complete new ecosystem of wheels, wheelbases, pedals, hubs. I don't know what else they do have. Like
they have everything now. I think now they have everything: handbrake, shifter,
everything,
all ecosystem.
I got it right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a handbrake.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one.
I have Trustmaster. I think behind here you see Trustmaster, Moza, Trustmaster. I have this one that come from a random call sign he gave me, and this is like
nice.
we're calling it hybrid. So this is Moza Fanatec. It's here just to make. I didn't use it. Yeah, that's probably the new deal. But yeah, and I have a CSL DD. No, sorry, CSL. Yeah, CSL there on the box, but arrived probably like 3 months ago. 3 weeks ago. But I didn't have energy to even open and everything.
All of that.
I said to Christina, I think she need to open and do some video or something. I'm trying to put Christina to Simracing and start streaming.
Why not?
I said to her, look, you don't need to sometimes to learn to be the best driver. Just to need to be entertainment. I can be behind you. I can be teaching you how to drive and everything, and you can do streamings on this one because I don't have energy to stream. I get tired after. Now we are doing the podcast. After I need to lay down because speaking too much.
I mean, who knows about 2024? You're probably going to be back and running. So
perhaps now I'm obese or 100 kilos. 100 kilos. 100 kilos. I don't know. Nobody know where they come, but yeah, I'm on 100 kilos, 102.
Wow.
Yeah, I think when we met on Expo I was 79, so that was okay. I was getting a little bit
huge.
Yeah, but these months with the treatments and everything, as you see, make me like
everything just sticks to you.
Yeah.
I just wanted everything could get away from me, not stick to me. So it's
Yeah, I'm gonna start going gym. So finally, they allow me to go gym. They allow me to go, but
Mhm.
was always lift like 2 kilos. And I say to
Yeah,
them, going to
don't
gym,
stress yourself.
and lifting 2 kilos is is not the point. You're not gonna do nothing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can stay at home.
I no run and nothing. I say, look, for this one, I stay home and I lift my Moza. I lift the Moza and I put the
Moza
Moza on
is
the
10
place.
kilos.
Yeah, exactly. I say gonna be more. But now finally they allow me. So tomorrow I will go for the first time to gym, and let's hope, as they say, it's only water retention. Water
Uh,
retention, and all the weight goes away. But yeah, no
who knows?
pants. I have to go Primark buy
Oof,
clothes because everything is tight. It's
everything
funny.
is tight. I mean, it's funny, but until it goes away,
For
I
me,
mean,
for me, it's funny. If you
yeah,
start thinking too much, your mental health gonna go
yeah,
down,
I'm
and
just
after we
gonna.
don't want. But yeah, talking about on mental health and sim racing. What is your point of view? Because a lot of our sim racers, content creators, always they had passed for some issue or something that on life that take them to start on sim racing and making content creation. So, what is your views about the sim racing community and mental health?
I think that's a pretty important stuff that we all talk about. Not only in sim racing, but in general life. So you get these moments in life where you think there is just no end.
Yeah,
But that's that's your view at that point. At that point, but if you were in a different situation the next day, you can think of something completely different. And
yeah,
that's exactly what you have to keep on reminding yourself. Like if you're in this rough spot, you, you know, I always ask myself the question, what is the future me going to think about this? So is it just going to be another period in life when I'm just like a little bit down? I mean, sometimes you can really be down, like this content depression or whatever you want to call it, and you cannot really find the exit. But that's not like the end of it. I'm always keep on reminding myself, I'm going to go to the next day. I'm just going to sleep over it. And the next day, I'm going to come back and see, what was holding me back. I'm just going to do this little analysis of what are things that were actually the cause of my problem. And if you write it down on a piece of paper and just realize these are my problems, it's going to be easier to address these problems. And you're going to be like, oh, maybe it's not so bad after all. Maybe I can deal with this. Maybe I can just, I can go for a run. I can, maybe if you're not much of a running guy. Personally, I'm not that much of a running
me
guy yet
neither.
anymore. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't feel.
no,
I
my
prefer
knees hurt.
cycling. I prefer cycling.
Yeah, cycling. Why not?
Yeah.
But just do something. It doesn't even have to be fun. Just do something out of the ordinary.
Mhm.
So something that is going to break your normal daytime routine. And you can. I usually stop thinking about the bad things, and I'm just like fresh and new. So I think routine these days, like especially uh, with a new style of life, not only content creation, it just keeps us on doing the same things. Like you wake up, you go to work, you do your daily whatever you want, whatever need to do. You need to have your job done, and
Mhm.
then of course you got priorities at your job. Sometimes it can be stressful, but then you come home and then you realize, okay, this is this what is this, is this all about? And then you just have to realize maybe it's not. Maybe you can change your life in a completely different way. Maybe you're at this point where you see no exit, but if someone tells you, "Oh man, would you like to work for my company now? I mean, I'm just making like this expansion." You're like, "Wow, oh man," and just your everything changed. Like you're not down anymore. You're
Yeah.
like up, and that's the little things. I mean, sometimes, as I said before, I just get into this content depression. I just don't know what to post. Like it's too much, and then I realized that if I have a couple of days off, so for example, I was posting the videos. I was posting videos for daily this week, and I've been doing this for the last couple of months. It kind of gets to you. You do not feel as productive as you used to be, and all of a sudden, I'm just going to say, you know what? It's the Gran Turismo World Finals. I think it was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the whole weekend. I'm
Yeah.
going to take the whole weekend off and I will do something fun. I will spend some time with the family. I'm gonna do something fun with my girlfriend. I will go out a little bit more and just break the usual stuff. And then all of a sudden, when I go back on Monday, I'm going to be, maybe I'm going to be a little bit better. And that's the cycles that I was kind of struggling with that, to be honest. But
I think we have to break. I talk from my experience, so everyone will have a different experience. I never have depression or I always have anxiety problems, but that's anxiety, but that's his
who
personality.
doesn't?
Yeah, that's a personality. So that's on the 90s was okay. Now is a problem, but when I grow up, it was normal. So
Yeah.
but unfortunately, this year I've been struggling more with depression, and that come probably because I would say I've stayed too much time at home. I wake up and all the days are the same because, for example, now it's winter. I'm not allowed to go so much outside because if I get sick or if I get fever or treatments are delayed because I cannot do the treatments when I'm sick. So all that make you stay home. So it means that I need to have a big excuse to go out. Otherwise, I cannot go out just to go, just for the normal things, and that creates depression. And after without you realize, you isolate yourself. So you stay more in the corner. And like you say, if you are doing content creation, you just focus on content creation. And after you go on that depression because your content creation is not going very well, or you putting too much on your
You're just looking at the
head.
analytics, or they're not working well. Yeah,
Exactly.
I know.
And after you stress. So yeah, that's the main problem that's probably I facing these days is just the depression comes because I'm at home. Probably if I was allowed to go work, I would be better because you communicate with people. Something that I never had it, problems with communicate with people, and now I struggle communicate. I think I get nervous. That I never get nervous to speak with people. Yeah, but I get nervous about people. That's something that I want to really take away because it was something that I never have it. So I always talk a lot, and I never have problems to talk. But now I don't want.
When you're around other people all the time, you don't have problem communicating. You just you're just on the fly. You just go. But whenever you get, let's say, isolated in any kind of, I'm not talking about you specifically here. Okay, you are specifically home because you have to be. But let's say it's your job, it's your work. You work from home. A lot of people work from home now. And you don't see the outside world that much. So just try to force yourself to see the outside world. Try to force yourself to, let's say, go
get vitamin D.
Get vitamin D. Just go to the sun. Do something.
I'm telling you, I made a blood test. This is funny. I make a blood test because now I have to make a blood test before every treatment. And normally it's the treatments that are Wednesday, so I need to do it before the weekend. So I made it on Thursday. I think Thursday, yeah. And I received the result yesterday. My doctor says away, "Oh, you need vitamin D." I say, "Of course I need vitamin D."
Everyone needs it, I guess.
If you say to me to stay home, my only vitamin D come from a light, an artificial light. Yeah. Of course, I'm gonna have deficit of vitamin D.
It's going to be deficiency, whatever. I mean, how can it be positive?
Exactly. I said to him, of course, and he, oh yeah. I say, man, it's just just allow me to go outside. Yeah, but I think mental health, we need them. And Simracing are very connect. And I don't say Simracing are the community is great in a lot of ways, but sometimes they can be bad.
Quite harsh.
Quite harsh. Yeah. And I think it's harsh because people are, like I say, they are outside. Because if there was racing on a LAN environment where everyone is and say, look, I have this problem, and the problem is not written on a text that is interpreted on a bad way, because after you read, oh, sorry, my wife.
No worries.
She knows I am an interview. Christina. Oh, Christina always do this one. I'm on an interview. The other day I was on an interview. I say, I'm on an interview. And she said to me, okay. And after what she started doing, she started texting me. And my phone started vibrating and ringing.
That's how it usually happens.
And I texted, I'm on an interview. And she started texting, okay. And after, a gift. And I say,
But it's funny. It's funny. No one calls when you have nothing to do. And all of a sudden, when you have all of these things, like you have something very important, your phone rings like 10 times. Like my phone is ringing right now. I got it ringing. So yeah, I just I mean,
yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Sorry for that. But anyway,
no
we are
worries.
reaching 1 hour. So normally I try to put everything in 1 hour. I know that we can speak for much more, but I try to do
Yeah,
1
of
hour
course.
because I think after retention and everything, I think people lost the patience to see a podcast when
It just
the
comes down.
podcast stretched down. But I think we can come back other day for another podcast because I think the good thing on sim racing is it's changing every 3 weeks or every 3 months. It's changing.
You
So
always have something new.
yeah, if I have you on the beginning of the year and if I have you on the middle of the year, it's going to be completely different because it's so many stories, so many things that have on our life and come on sim racing. So
You
for
you
sure we're
just
gonna
need another good release and everything changes.
exactly.
And it can happen next week. And we can talk about completely different things
We'll
next
come.
week.
I think GTR revival will be good.
Yeah.
The graphics looks beautiful for a PC game. I know Ian Bell from Project Car. Project Car was not very well received for the part of the physics, but in terms of menus, as we're talking about menus,
Mhm.
the Gran Turismo was, I think, one of the best. It was really easy for you create a race, create the what you need to have on the race, and in terms of weather conditions,
It's
grids, and
very
everything.
simplified in any
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Without
So
too much thinking, you can do anything. So that's, I believe, as I said before, that's probably the biggest selling point is that accessibility. So people can join without thinking. They're
yeah,
gonna have sometimes a very unpleasant experience, but usually usually it's a fun one. So I guess
I agree.
let's keep the people going and doing that for what is it now, for the last 26 years. So it's not,
26 years.
I think it was 25 years and 25 years anniversary of a release of GT7. So I think it should be 23 years now. Sorry, 26 years now.
Yeah, could be.
Could be. But yeah,
Digit, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It was a pleasure. And like I say, I think on the end of the year, probably I will ask you to come back for making a recap of 2024, and or probably we can do it on the expo if we go to the expo again.
probably will.
You
Probably
are
will.
is on our plans to go in?
Yeah, I think for now it is on the plans, and I would definitely like to spend a little bit more time there. Not just I had a
Yeah,
flight, then I just went in there, and then literally from the place I went to the hotel just to sleep for a couple of hours, and then it was flight to go home. So I need to
yeah.
stretch it up to at least like a couple of days more to see all
No,
of the good stuff.
I think the mistake that was the same mistake that we make. It was on Friday when we met.
Yeah,
We just take too easy. Okay, today just going to see not recording too much content, and after on Saturday
big
was
mistake.
was a big boom. Was
Big
so
mistake.
many people. I was not expecting that affluence of
No,
so many people, and you could not do nothing. Was you could not try, you could not
Friday.
speak.
Friday was,
Sunday was okay after.
but
Sunday was
Saturday,
yeah,
no.
but Saturday, I'm telling you, Saturday was really hard. It was really, really hard. I
So
said
the
to
shooting
Christina,
has to be done on Friday.
yeah, I said to Christina, I think Saturday is the day just for you come and just enjoy, not
Exactly.
go asking questions to the people or what's happening here or what. Because after it was really, really difficult. But yeah,
I mean,
let's do
it
that.
was,
Probably organize and see each other on in
that will be
Dortmund,
fun.
as you know, and probably recording something there with a little bit
Hopefully.
more time and
Hopefully.
better. All right.
Definitely. I mean, thank you for the invitation, and let's see what's going to happen in 2024.